Good morning, everyone. So today is another software update day. You'll have seen in some of my previous videos I talk about over-the-air software updates on the Polestar, and I've only had one of these that I've had to install since I've had the car. It's been an interesting topic of conversation for a lot of Polestar owners because over-the-air updates is something that wasn't available to start with and has been added as a feature in the last few months. Now, OTA means over-the-air updates, and what that basically means is that Polestar can send updates to the software that can then be installed on the car. And this isn't just software on the Android tablet. This is actual integral car software on the built-in computers that manage all kinds of things, from battery management even to the speed at which the servos run to close the windows. In one of the, I think it was the last over-the-air update, they actually apparently solved some of the sealing issues for the rear windows, which I think was to do with how well the windows were actually closing. And this is a very clever system, basically, and Teslas have been able to do this for ages. So it's not the first car to offer this kind of technology, but it is really nice to have a car that is designed by a manufacturer that is interested in offering these kinds of updates. So what's really significant about this update, though, is that it adds functionality to use your phone as a key and to actually control several features via the app that Polestar have been talking about. It is a bit late, to be honest, this app. They were saying that they would release it at the end of last year, and I don't know what the reason is for the delay, but to be honest, it's better that it's late than it doesn't work. So let's hope that this goes according to plan. Now, I'm just looking down at my notes here. I'll try and put these on the screen as well, but the release notes for this OTA update are: Polestar digital key, beta, use the phone as a standalone key, the app functionality, remote client start, battery status, and remote unlock, Polestar ID now included in Setup Wizard, Apple iPhone 12 wireless charging fix, which is good, Bluetooth media streaming stability improvement, bug fixes for a few different things, revised battery DTE representation with more linear algorithm. Now that's quite important because this battery update, it's more of a software display update. So on the display where it might say when the car is full, it might over predict the range, will hopefully now be a little bit more accurate. It's one issue I've had actually with the Polestar, is that compared to even the MG ZS EV, that seemed to have a much more accurate battery range than the Polestar does. The Polestar's Google Maps one is great, but the one behind the steering wheel is a little bit too optimistic. So hopefully that will be a useful improvement. Increased robustness measures for battery control software. And then the last one is interesting: battery preconditioning for improving the battery preheating during AC charging to improve overall efficiency and regenerative braking efficiency when 90 to 100% charge limit is selected. So nice little tweaks. Whether or not those will be very noticeable, I don't know, but it's great to see Polestar doing it. But the main thing about this that everyone's excited about is the addition of the app that you can use with the car. Now, if you already own a Polestar, you probably have already done this over-the-air update, but I'm just going to document what I'm doing here and see what it's like. Hopefully it works and it doesn't cause any issues. There's the odd car out there that's had major problems. If these updates go wrong, then you can end up with a car that's stuck and doesn't work. So let's activate the update and we will see what happens. Okay, so to activate the software update, you just kind of have to wait till the car downloads it, until Polestar actually push it to your car. And then when you see this appear, you've got to click the install now, and you will get this message. The installation will start when leaving and locking the car. Estimated install time up to 1 hour 30. During the installation, you won't be able to access or use your car. The car needs to be locked to start the install. So you've got to make sure you're in a place where you're happy to leave the car for a while and let it do its thing. So yeah, I'm going to click confirm and come back in an hour and a half. Okay, so good news, the update was successful and it did not render my car completely useless. So that is always the fear with these things. Unfortunately, there are quite a few people who've had significant issues with the updates, and that's really annoying because there's an element of risk. Like if your car is perfectly fine and then you do the update and you find now you can't do something, or in fact you can't even drive away because something's gone wrong, it's really inconvenient. So one way to check that the update has gone through correctly is to do this by looking on the screen. So you should get a confirmation that your update's successful, but you can double check simply by going into the system, and if you click about, you get some information here, and then you will see whether or not your Android security patch level has changed. Now, this is just your Android tablet software. This is nothing to do with the computers that actually control various elements of the car itself. But if this is up to date, then you can see. So I think mine was saying December or something like that. So that's kind of just a personal way of seeing that it's gone through. And then you've got this down here. So that was Thursday, March 18. That was the number. So these types of things you can see, which are a little bit, hopefully a bit helpful. But let's get on to the most interesting part, which is sorting out the pairing of the car. So I am logged in here on my phone, and I hope you can see that okay. And I've opened up the app, and I'm going to click pair your car, and we'll see what happens. So you're not currently paired with a Polestar. Well, I'm not, no. So pair with Polestar 2. Scanning for cars. Make sure you've enabled pairing in the car's center display. So let's go back to the center display and find the pairing. Okay, so it wasn't immediately obvious where it was that you need to pair your key. I sort of clicked around on the screen and then thought, oh, it's probably up here. So I found it after a minute or two. Key connected. Well, that's the normal key, but then you click on that, it now has this thing that says digital key. So you click on digital key and it comes up with this pair your phone. Now, it would be nice if the app actually told you this, because it would just save having to stab around on the screen trying to figure out where you're supposed to go. So I'll click pair phone. Sign in to the Polestar app. Follow the instructions to pair a new car. Okay, I've done that. So I'll click next. Searching for keys. Keys found. Connecting to the phone. Make sure. Okay, so 613355 matching numbers. The numbers should match the one shown in the Polestar app. Yes, it does. So if I click yes on there, and I will click yes on this screen as well. And yeah, pairing complete. Now you can control some car functions remotely by using your paired phone. That's exciting. I'm going to click done. And okay, digital key is in place. So pairing successful. Your car is connected to my phone. You can now give it a unique new name. Okay, I don't really care about that. Confirm name. And there we go. Digital key. Connect and your phone becomes your key via Bluetooth. Okay, I'm going to activate the digital key. Preparing your digital key, and this could take up to 2 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to pair that. Pair it, I guess. Took less than 2 minutes, so now it says fully connected. Let's get started. Okay, so we're into the app. This is exciting, very exciting stuff. Battery is 0%. That's not very good. Climate is apparently off. Well, it's not. It's actually on. So, well, start climate. Who knows? So, well, okay. So maybe it takes a bit of time to update. I'm not sure if this is something you should see instantaneously, but let's have a look. The bottom, it's just got some, that's that tab. So you can figure a car, and that's your account. So it looks like this is the page where you can look at some stuff. And I'm going to wait to see what happens and come back to have a look in a few minutes' time to see if there's any information on this display. Okay, so after spending a little bit of time fiddling around with the app, I wasn't getting anywhere. I had absolutely no success with using it. What I did find, though, is that the key seemed to work. So the phone as key function was working fine. If I left my key further away, I could come up to the car and open it. And that seemed to be working okay. Now, I noticed on one of the Facebook groups that Polestar had told people to give it a little bit of time to wait for the data connection to sort of happen and things to start working in the background. So I contacted Polestar customer service just to check that that was the case, and they said, yeah, give it 36 hours and see what happens. So yeah, sure enough, I woke up this morning to find that actually, yeah, the app is working okay, but not completely fully. It's not quite right. So I'll show you my screen. This is now what the screen is showing. You can see it's showing battery of 90%. And if I tap this plus button, it then gives you a range display. And then you can unlock and lock the car. But I keep getting this error here. Data sharing is turned off for battery. You use the touchscreen in the car to change the setting. And if I tap climate, it seems to do the same thing. But what is it referring to? It's a really strange thing to see. So if I click on here, and then if I go to the settings, I go down to privacy and data sharing, Polestar privacy, there's some stuff here which is just grayed out. You can't even tap on it. I can't find any other settings to change in the car. So yeah, if you're watching this video and you happen to know the answer to this problem, please let me know. So my initial feelings of this, that the app is kind of deflating. It's not that great. I was really excited about getting the app and being able to, the key thing for me actually is not so much the phone as key, because using your phone as a key to get in and out of the car, personally, I'm not so sure how I feel about. The Tesla Model 3 was actually the perfect implementation of that. You could use your phone as a digital key, but you also had a card that was like, it's just like an RFID card, like a bank card that you could keep in your wallet. So that was like an emergency way of getting in and out of the car. You just swipe, sort of like move it over the sensor on the door, pillar, and then you can use that to drive the car. But you don't need to use that, and you can use your phone most of the time. The problem I have with this situation is that the phone as key is great until the day that you go somewhere and you're very unlucky and your phone battery runs out, or you lose your phone, or you misplace your phone and you can't remember how to get into the car, and it's just a nightmare. So I think what I would probably do is carry the small Polestar key all the time with me. There's a little compact key that they have. Just leave those on my my set of keys and use that most of the time. But then it makes me think, well, if I'm doing that, why do I need the phone as key anyway? It kind of seems like it's a little bit pointless. So it's not exactly the most exciting feature, to be honest. Maybe I'm being a little bit pessimistic and I shouldn't be like that, but I'm sure many people will love it. But for me, at the moment, I feel a little bit nervous about relying entirely on my phone as the key. But to be honest, I'll probably get used to it over time, and we'll see how that goes. The other issue, though, is with the actual app itself. So if you look down at the screen, like I showed you, you can see, the battery display, you can see the door unlock, the climate on and off, but that is literally all that you have. And I know that Polestar have said that they will add more in the future, and that's great. I'm sure they will, but it doesn't seem to work 100%. And they have mentioned that this is the beta release, and yeah, that's fair enough. But to be honest, by this point, I think most users are probably not expecting a beta release of an app. They're probably expecting something that works a bit better than that. However, having said that, perhaps in Polestar's defense, they have to release it as a beta because they just don't have enough feedback and data on how the app is actually going to work in the real world, because you kind of need people using it on a regular basis to collect that information. The door unlock is good. The battery status is good. You can see that at least from inside the house, and the climate on and off is a good feature. I think climate on and off is probably the most useful thing that the phone actually adds to the user experience, because if it's cold in the winter, it's nice to not have to come out to the car. However, it will be good to see scheduling on here, because just turning it on and off isn't really good enough. What most people are going to want is to be able to schedule that from the phone and have that sync to the car so that your climate control scheduling is set up. And even your charge scheduling, that really should be there as well, because a lot of people might have older charging systems at home where they can't set smart charging options on those, and they might want to be able to say to the car, okay, can you charge between 12 and 5 a.m. or whatever it is, to take advantage of cheaper night rates on their power or solar during the day. So those kinds of things would be really useful to see at some point in the future. Yeah, it's nice to have, and as I mentioned earlier, there's some other good features that have been added in this update. I think one of the most interesting things will be to see if the battery preconditioning, the way that the logic seems to work with that from the Polestar's point of view, actually could be quite useful if it does provide some better extensions to the range, especially in colder weather. So I hope this summary hasn't been too negative. It's great that the app is there. I was lucky the OTA worked fine for me. They actually subsequently yesterday withdrew all of the OTAs that hadn't been installed. So if you hadn't installed it as of yesterday morning, it stopped you from being able to do it in the afternoon, because Polestar identified a few issues with the installation. So I think they're delaying that now by a few days. But yeah, mine worked out okay, and it is nice to have the app finally available for the car. So I hope this has been a useful video, and I'll be back again very soon. Thank you.